Godzilla vs. Magneto. Can magnetism stop a beast? The video opens with a dramatic montage of Godzilla rising from the depths of the ocean, water cascading off his massive form as he unleashes a thunderous roar. The camera captures the sheer scale of this titan as he towers over skyscrapers, his dorsal fins glowing ominously. Suddenly, the scene shifts to Magneto hovering above a devastated cityscape, cloaked in his iconic helmet and cape, with metal debris swirling around him like a metallic hurricane. Hey there, fellow fans of the epic and extraordinary. Ever wondered what happens when the unstoppable force meets the immovable object? Well, you're in for a treat today. Welcome to the ultimate face-off between Godzilla, the king of monsters, and Magneto, the master of magnetism. Grab your popcorn and settle in, because this is going to be one wild ride. What's up, everyone? It's your host here, back with another deep dive into some seriously awesome hypothetical showdowns. So, picture this. A gargantuan, radioactive lizard with a penchant for leveling cities goes head-to-head with a powerful mutant who can control metal and magnetic fields. Sounds insane, right? Today, we're tackling the burning question. Can Magneto's mastery over magnetism actually stop a beast like Godzilla? Let's break it down, have some fun, and see who might come out on top in this epic clash of titans. Let's kick things off with our big guy, Godzilla. Making his debut in 1954, Godzilla wasn't just a monster. He was a walking, roaring symbol of nuclear destruction and the anxieties of the atomic age. Born from nuclear radiation, he emerged from the depths to remind humanity of the consequences of its actions. Heavy stuff, huh? Physically, Godzilla is an absolute behemoth. Depending on the era and adaptation, he stands anywhere from 50 to over 120 meters tall. That's taller than the Statue of Liberty. And weighing in at around 90,000 tons, he's got some serious mass behind him. He's got those cool dorsal plates running down his back that not only look intimidating but also store nuclear energy. And let's not forget his signature move, the atomic breath. This isn't your average fire breath, it's a concentrated beam of radioactive energy that can obliterate pretty much anything in its path. Buildings, other monsters, you name it. Godzilla's hide is thick and tough, almost impervious to conventional weapons. Bullets, missiles, and even other monsters' attacks often barely faze him. Plus, he's got a regenerative healing factor that helps him recover from injuries at an incredible rate. Talk about a tough customer. He's faced off against some serious contenders over the years. King Ghidorah with his 3 heads and gravity beams, the giant moth deity Mothra, the mechanized menace Mechagodzilla, and many more. Each time, he shows why he's earned the title, King of Monsters. Now, let's turn our attention to Magneto, one of the most powerful and complex mutants in the Marvel Universe. Born as Max Eisenhardt, his early life was marred by the atrocities of the Holocaust, which profoundly shaped his worldview and motivations. Magneto possesses the ability to manipulate electromagnetic fields. In simple terms, he can control metal and magnetic forces at will. He's done some mind-blowing things with his powers. Lifting entire submarines out of the ocean, controlling the iron in people's blood, and even manipulating the Earth's magnetic poles. That's some serious power, but it's not just raw power that makes Magneto formidable. He's got a genius-level intellect, excels in engineering and physics, and is a master strategist. He's led the Brotherhood of Mutants and has been both an adversary and ally to the X-Men, depending on the time and circumstances. His abilities also include generating protective magnetic force fields, enabling him to withstand tremendous physical assaults, and flying by riding the Earth's magnetic fields. Basically, if there's metal or magnetism involved, Magneto is the guy in charge. Alright, let's set the stage for this epic showdown. Imagine a bustling metropolis, a concrete jungle filled with steel beams, skyscrapers, bridges, cars, and all sorts of metal goodies. Perfect playground for Magneto, right? Now, cue Godzilla emerging from the ocean, drawn by, I don't know, maybe he's just in the mood to stretch his legs and crush some buildings. Meanwhile, Magneto observes from above, ready to defend humanity, or perhaps to use Godzilla for his own ends. Environmental factors are crucial here. For Magneto, the abundance of metal in an urban setting gives him a virtually limitless arsenal. For Godzilla, the city is just another obstacle, or perhaps an appetizer. Time to dive into how their abilities stack up against each other. First question. Can Magneto directly affect Godzilla himself with his magnetic powers? Well, unless Godzilla secretly has a skeleton made of metal or a suit of armor under those scales, it's unlikely Magneto can manipulate his body directly. Godzilla is a biological creature, albeit a massive and radioactive one, and his body isn't known to be ferromagnetic. But Magneto isn't the type to be deterred by such details. He could use the environment to his advantage. Imagine him tearing up steel beams from skyscrapers and launching them at Godzilla like gigantic spears. Or forming massive metal constructs to trap or slow down the big guy. He could create barriers, entangle Godzilla in twisted wreckage, or even use electromagnetic fields to mess with his senses. Maybe he could drop an entire bridge on him. Another tactic could be manipulating the Earth's magnetic field to generate powerful electromagnetic pulses. Could this disrupt Godzilla's internal biology or his ability to generate atomic breath? It's a stretch, but in a world where giant monsters exist, why not? Alternatively, Magneto might try to redirect Godzilla's atomic breath. If he could create a magnetic field strong enough, perhaps he could deflect or scatter the beam, preventing widespread destruction, or even turning it back on Godzilla. Now, let's sprinkle in a bit of science, but don't worry, we'll keep it fun. Magnetism, as we know it, primarily affects materials with certain properties, like iron, nickel, and cobalt. Living organisms aren't typically susceptible to magnetic forces in any significant way, especially not at the levels humans can generate. But Magneto isn't limited by everyday human standards. He's manipulated magnetic fields on a planetary scale. However, the question is whether he can generate enough force to affect something as massive and biologically unique as Godzilla. Godzilla's body runs on nuclear energy. His cells might function differently than any other organism on Earth. Could intense magnetic fields interfere with his biological processes? Maybe, but it's speculative. Also, consider the scale. Moving metal objects, even large ones like submarines, is one thing. But influencing or harming a creature weighing 90,000 tons? That might push even Magneto's powers to their limits. Let's explore some possible scenarios of how this battle could go down. Outcome 1. Magneto triumphs. Magneto unleashes his full arsenal. He manipulates every piece of metal in the city, cars, beams, bridges, to create a colossal tidal wave of steel aimed straight at Godzilla. He could encase Godzilla in a sphere of metal, trapping him temporarily. If he manages to redirect Godzilla's atomic breath back at him or amplifies electromagnetic fields to disrupt his internal functions, he might just bring the beast down. Victory to Magneto. Outcome 2. Godzilla prevails. Godzilla wades through the onslaught like it's a minor inconvenience. The flying metal shatters against his thick hide, and any traps are crushed underfoot. Magneto starts to tire from expending so much energy, and with one mighty swipe or a well-timed atomic breath, Godzilla takes out Magneto. The King of Monsters retains his crown. Outcome 3. Stalemate. Alternatively, the battle could reach a standstill. Magneto can't generate enough force to stop Godzilla entirely, but Godzilla can't reach Magneto, who stays airborne. They might battle until external forces intervene. Maybe other mutants, heroes, or even another kaiju shows up. Perhaps they realize they need to team up against a greater threat. Hey, it's the stuff of epic crossovers. But let's not jump to conclusions without considering a few twists. Magneto's powers, while immense, aren't infinite. Controlling such massive amounts of metal and sustaining powerful magnetic fields could drain him quickly. If he overexerts himself, he might become vulnerable. Godzilla, driven by primal instincts, is unpredictable. He doesn't strategize in the traditional sense, which could either make him an easy target or an unexpected threat. Magneto might find it challenging to anticipate his moves. Also, let's factor in the human element. Would Magneto risk collateral damage by tearing apart a city to fight Godzilla? Depending on his motives at the time, remember, he's sometimes a villain, sometimes an anti-hero. That could influence his actions. So, after all that, where do we stand? Can Magneto's magnetism stop a beast like Godzilla? The honest answer: maybe, maybe not. It depends on so many factors: the setting, the circumstances, the way their powers interact in this hypothetical scenario. What makes this matchup so fascinating is the blend of different worlds, the science fiction of kaiju films and the fantastical elements of superhero comics. It's a playground for the imagination. At the end of the day, it's all about having fun and exploring, what-if scenarios. Whether you're Team Magneto or Team Godzilla, it's these kinds of discussions that make being a fan so exciting. Thanks for joining me on this epic journey of speculation and geekiness. I had an absolute blast breaking down this hypothetical battle, and I hope you enjoyed it too. Now it's your turn. What do you think? Could Magneto really take down Godzilla with his magnetic powers? Or would Godzilla simply overpower him in the end? Drop your thoughts, theories, and wild ideas in the comments below. Let's get the conversation rolling. If you liked this video, don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe to the channel for more awesome content. I've got plenty more epic face-offs, deep dives, and nerdy discussions coming your way, so stay tuned. And if there's a matchup you'd love to see me tackle next, let me know. Your suggestions keep this channel thriving. Until next time, keep dreaming big, keep debating, and remember, the only limit is your imagination. Catch you later. Special thanks to all the amazing artists and creators whose work helped bring this video to life. And a huge shout out to you, the viewers, for making this channel possible.